On a cold December day in 2009, in a quiet town in Utah, USA, a young woman named Susan Powell disappeared from sight. What happened to her? And how did she disappear in such a mysterious way? The story that I will tell you today is full of mystery and mysteries. A story that will make you think long before you go to sleep tonight. Susan Powell, a mother of 2 children and wife of Josh Powell, appeared from the outside to be a happy woman living a normal life. Her small family was the center of her life, and her children were her everything. But behind this perfect image, there was another life full of problems and tensions. In the years before her disappearance, the relationship between Susan and her husband began to deteriorate. Josh Powell was a controlling and eccentric husband. Susan was silently suffering from his behavior. During those times, Susan resorted to writing and recording. She left behind secret diaries and videos in which she talked about her fear, her doubts about her husband, and her increasing feeling that her life was in danger. On the night of December 6, 2009, something strange happened. It was a Sunday, a normal day in the Powell family. That night, Susan mysteriously disappeared. There was no trace of her. It was as if she had evaporated. When neighbors and family members returned to look for her, all signs pointed to something fishy. Josh Powell, the husband, claimed that he had taken his 2 children on a camping trip in the middle of the night. Yes, camping in freezing winter weather. Who takes their children out into the desert in the middle of the night in weather like that? The story seemed absurd, but it was the only story Josh could come up with. He said that when he got home, Susan was gone. The police immediately launched an investigation. The police and detectives sensed from the start that something was wrong. When they went to the family's home, they found suspicious things. The carpet in the living room was wet, and no one knew why. Susan was gone, but her purse, her cell phone, and even her winter coat were all in the house. The search for Susan began everywhere. Rescue teams searched the desert, nearby forests, and rivers, but found no trace of her. Over time, suspicions began to fall on Josh. However, there was no conclusive evidence that would allow them to directly accuse him. In the weeks following Susan's disappearance, Josh's behavior only got stranger. Instead of helping the police search for his wife, he seemed disinterested. At times, he was seen cleaning his house obsessively, as if there was something he was trying to hide. He also withdrew a large sum of money and took his children to another state. Evidence that emerged later made things even more mysterious. The police uncovered Susan's diaries and letters she had sent to friends. In those letters, she expressed her extreme fear of Josh. In one of the video messages she left before she disappeared, Susan clearly said, "If something happens to me, know that Josh was behind it." But even with this evidence, there was no body, and there was no direct evidence. But the story did not end there. In February 2012, after 3 years of continuous investigation, something unbelievable happened. Josh, who was under intense investigation, decided to end the story in a horrific way. On the day of his children's visit under the supervision of the authorities, he committed a heinous crime. In a moment of madness and desperation, Josh locked himself and his children in, then set the house on fire, causing a horrific explosion. Josh and his children died in the fire, and with them many secrets related to Susan's disappearance were buried. That moment was a tragic end for the Powell family. But even after Josh's death, the unanswered question remained, where is Susan? To this day, her body has not been found. Susan Powell's case has become one of the most mysterious and controversial cases in U.S. history. Her family and friends have not stopped searching, and have not given up hope of one day finding the truth. The mystery still remains, and the answers have not yet been discovered. Was Josh the perpetrator? Or is there a bigger secret that has not been revealed? Susan Powell's story remains a tale full of mystery and pain, and perhaps one day we will know the truth. The end. If this story has piqued your curiosity, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and share your opinions. What do you think? Do you think Josh was responsible for Susan's disappearance? Or is there someone else behind this story? Share your opinions with us in the comments.